I'm very excited to introduce our next guest. They are the host of a podcast called Bacon is My Podcast. They talk all things music, wrestling, cooking, and whatever else is being served up on the plate that week. Not only do they rock this podcast, they are also busy at work with their own music projects, Craving Strange and Something Heavy. Please welcome Jimmy G and Mike.
Hey!
What's up?
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you
Thanks
so much.
for hanging out. I am excited to pick your guys' brains. We chatted a little bit when we were planning this, but I'm ready to open you guys up, figure out what has got you guys to this point, why you guys do what you do, all of the things.
Ooh, I love
I haven't figured it out yet, so this is good.
That's fair. Just to open it up, what was the first thing you guys listened to this morning?
Oh, this morning, this is a Friday right now, currently.
Yes,
so what I usually do is I go through my my new releases. I didn't see anything I particularly wanted to listen to, so I went with the new Beartooth record because that's just been my jam lately.
Yeah.
Nice. I listened to we had an interview with a band out of Texas called Weather Eye. And so I did kind of, for the past couple of days, I've been doing a deep dive on their music. So this morning, first thing I did was jump into some of their music as well, just to kind of like get into the mindset and really get into what kind of like makes their music tick.
Yeah.
So that was mine today.
Music tick.
Yeah.
The metronome just bobble. I don't know what the word is.
Exactly.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
When you're recording, the metronome bobble is a thing.
It's a real thing.
It's an actual thing.
I applaud myself on listening to a lot of stuff. So I listened to the new Drake record this morning, which was quite interesting. I was very disappointed with the Kanye record for many of reasons. But I was excited to hear that Drake dropped that. So that was the first thing I listened to. But it's interesting you say that about your deep dive because I find myself doing that naturally when I have guests on the show because of course you want to be well informed and you want to be able to talk about what's relevant with them and also have a little bit of back knowledge. Have you done that and found that like you only like the newer stuff or you only like the older stuff and it's been like a weird like some of it this pretty good, some of it's like not your favorite? Have you run into anything awkward like that when you've done a deep dive?
Yes. Yes, I have.
So just like I book a lot of we talked about this earlier before we started. I book a lot of this stuff. So I'll hear of a band and a lot of times it'll either be a band I already listened to or it'll be like a band I came across on social media that seems to be like blowing up a little bit. And then we'll book them and we'll start listening to them. And yeah, some things like Jim likes more than others.
Yeah, definitely. I'm one of those people that I can usually find something that I like in everything, but I also tire of it very quickly. So if I hear a band and I'm really digging a song, but then the next song I listen to sounds just like that first song, and then the next song sounds just like that second song that sounds like the first song, now I start to hate that thing that I loved. And so I'll be like, crap. Like what
am I doing?
How am I gonna like talk to this? Like I hope they don't ask me about anything.
Right.
And so when it's somebody that we're going to interview, honestly, most of the people, actually everybody that we've interviewed, I've found a lot of stuff that I like about their music, but our interviews have a lot more to do with the process behind it.
For sure.
And kind of like who they are and who they are as a person and a musician and what kind of they love about what they do.
Right.
So
it's less about the music itself and more about, again, Bacon's My podcast is the tagline is what's your bacon. So it's basically we use bacon as a metaphor because it makes everything better for us. So what's your bacon? What makes things better for you?
Right.
And that's how we like to approach things rather than like I particularly care for this style of music and this type of music because whatever. we like the process. We like the
Yeah.
process, and we like to know the story behind what brings you to that process. So,
But yeah, there have definitely been a few.
he's had a few that were like, he's like, what is this?
Yeah, where I've talked to him and I've been like, okay, so I've listened to like 2 songs and I really hope that things start getting better from here, because
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I'm not huge into this yet.
Yeah.
It's
But we still have fun.
interesting.
You know, because you talk to people.
Right.
Yeah, I love people, so.
So you as people, how did you get into music? What was your kind of your trigger when you were younger that was just like, oh, this is it, like this is what I'm doing? When I was younger, it was Fall Out Boys from Under a Cork Tree. I was in 3rd grade. It was a whole turning moment for me, and I was like, I love High School Musical, but also Fall Out Boy exists.
Right.
So it was like my kind of launch point into music, into this whole realm of things. So what was that for you guys?
Well, for me personally, it was a buddy. Like I started getting into 90s music and like Pearl Jam and Green Day and the Chili Peppers and Live and stuff like that. So I had a friend who was very into all that stuff and got me into that when I was in like 4th or 5th grade. So I started getting into it, and then a buddy of mine got a guitar and he started taking lessons, and he's like, I want to like create a band. And I thought to myself, I'm like, well, what would be really cool to play? And then, I was really into the Chili Peppers, Softly, and I'm like, I'm going to be a bassist. And then my parents were like, cool, we don't have money for a bass, but your dad has a guitar, so you could play that. And and it just that was it. And once I started learning and getting deeper into music and the process and writing and stuff like that's it sucked me in completely.
Nice. Yeah, for me, my parents were always, my mom especially, like there was always music at the house. And my mom, when I was growing up, before my mom married my dad, we lived in an apartment by ourselves, and she furnished the apartment by winning dance contests at bars and stuff. She was a hairdresser, and she would go to bars and stuff, and she would enter these dance competitions in Cleveland, Ohio. And so there was always music going on, and it was always like Motown and stuff like that. And then when my dad came in and became a part of the picture, he was very into like Pink Floyd, Aerosmith, Zeppelin, like stuff like that. And so I kind of had that on that side. So there was always some kind of music, and I was always kind of like, I was giving like fake concerts in the living room, rooms and stuff like that. And so that is like my earliest memories of music. I found a guitar in my dad's mother's closet, my grandma's closet, this old guitar that he had that he like probably never took a lesson on and put in the closet. And he had these 8-track tapes on it. And they had a player that was like a question answer thing that they would give me, and they would put tapes in it. I had to do math problems and stuff trying to teach me things, but it would also play these 8 tracks. And so I would put it in, and he had Led Zeppelin. I think it was like Led Zeppelin 2, Led Zeppelin House of the Holy, and like Kiss Alive were in there. And so I was listening to those as well. And I had his little guitar with like 2 strings on it, an amp, and I was messing around with that. And then one of my friends had an older brother that was a guitar player, so we idolized him and thought he was the coolest person on earth. And he gave me a copy of Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue. And I was like, what is this? That then blew my mind. And then like Guns N' Roses and Nirvana were like melted my brain when I saw them. And so I was like, I want to be all of these things and do all of these things. And so it was like, as early as I can remember, I was always kind of doing stuff. And then once I started really getting into like the rock side of things and hearing bands like that, it was like, oh, this is what I want to do. And then I found a band and forced them to let me join. I learned all their songs and called up their guitar player and was like, "Hey man, you want to hang out and jam?" And he was like, "Who are you?" Like, "Oh yeah, I'm like 2 grades under you, and I want to jam." I was like, "All right." I was like, I'll play all your songs and you can just like solo and lead over it. And he liked that. And then I ended up joining the band.
Like, please let me play with you. I need a band, please.
I so did that. It was like, you guys are a band. I want to be in a band. You're the only one I know, so I need to be in yours.
That's really interesting. I think about like me in high school and stuff like that. I don't know if it was just the area I grew up in or just who I surrounded myself with, but there wasn't a huge, like, there's like 2 bands at the school. They're going to play Battle of the Bands. Like, we didn't really have that. Right. So every time I hear about people coming up and they're like, yeah, like this band in high school. And I'm like, man, I missed out on that. And like, not to say that I didn't involve myself further in like other music scenes like later on, but it's just like, I wish I had that like band in high school that everybody knew that they'd go to the house shows with. And it was just like, nope. Just went to,
Did you like for you when you were in a band in high school? Did anybody in high school like your band? Because nobody so I couldn't get anybody to come to our shows that went to our school.
Right.
Okay.
Other schools liked us and we could do all kinds of cool stuff and they would come. But anybody that knew us at our school was like, you ain't a band.
In high school, it's very, very different. It's super different. And I think that's changed. That culture has changed a lot, over the years. But like,
yeah,
originally when I was in high school and I was in a band, like the concept of you being in a band was really cool. And then they had to sit through you playing, and that was not as cool.
We were all learning at the time,
and yeah, and then it was like, ooh. You're up there doing stuff.
Saw you up there on stage.
It's noise.
Yeah,
it's loud.
You were sure loud.
There's guitars and stuff. So yeah, I think at that point it's very much like a conceptual thing. Mm-hmm. And then once you start getting like better, I think certain people end up kind of gravitating toward it.
Right.
But on the overall, yeah, it's not so much. Not so much.
Well, I mean, at least you guys are doing cool stuff like that. I did improv in high school.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is it?
It is. That's super cool.
For an adult me looking back, it is awesome. I'm glad I did it, and I'm actually getting back into it as an adult, which is exciting.
Nice.
I was gonna say, I was gonna save it for our show, but I was gonna say you're going like comedy lessons, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
awesome.
very excited for that. It's coming up. I got some bits written, so
nice.
But in high school, it's like, I don't know. Maybe my high school was just like an enigma. It was just like not what everybody else was doing. But would you guys say you had an emo phase?
Oh, definitely.
Or was it just like everybody was just into rock and roll and,
No, I definitely had an emo phase.
For me, it was weird because I was very much like in high school, I was all about Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, like that stuff. And then once I left high school, I was in this group of guys that like Rage Against the Machine and Tool and that kind of stuff. That was all we listened to. That was it. And then then high school was over and I started branching off. And then it really wasn't until I met my wife that she was the one who got me into like Killswitch Engage and Every Time I Die and that kind of stuff. And then I like really embraced like the really heavier stuff. Like I liked a few songs from The Used. I liked a few songs from this band and that band. But like once I met her, she was like, no, stop! Enough with the douche rock. Let's get you in some other stuff. Yeah. So yeah,
for me it was like the first band I ever sang for. I was always a guitar player in bands like in high school and stuff. But when I got out of high school and then I moved to New York, I started singing for a band. And the first band that I sang for, man, we just wanted to be AFI so badly. And then like I heard the first Used record and it blew me away and it like blew my mind in so many different ways. Like I was just like, wow, this is super like aggressive and also super like emotional, but doesn't sound whiny in the way that I used to think of when I used to think of like emotional songs and stuff. So that kind of opened me up to that, and I really dug like My Chemical Romance. I thought they were great. I got heavy into all that. Like I loved all of it.
Yeah.
You know, so and then I guess I'm not in an emo phase, but I guess I still play.
Yeah,
it was never a
emo.
phase.
Yeah, it was just a part of like I guess it just became a part of my writing.
Yeah.
It became a part of my thing. Happy sounding sad songs, you know,
right?
Like that's
So in that regard, and looking at music right now, like I have a 13-year-old niece, and she talks to me about how things are emo and how like I'm emo,
Right.
and all this stuff. And obviously, there's a resurgence of punk rock in mainstream popular culture. What are your guys' thoughts on that? What are the reactions? I mean, Machine Gun Kelly has like an entire record that is a flip from what he's done in the past, and you can see stuff with like Willow Smith and stuff like that. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it's really cool because, you know, the cliche saying that it's always like rock is dead, rock is dead, rock is dead.
Mhm.
Right.
And I think it's really cool that these mainstream artists who are finding major success are kind of like gravitating towards that genre and kind of going, okay, well, rock, you say rock is dead, but if I put something out
Right.
and I embrace it, is it still dead? Like it got us to where we are today.
It's
regardless of what genre of rock it is, like I think it's cool. We were just talking about that. Like genre crossing is super awesome. It's super cool. I wish I could pull all of that off myself, but like, I think it's awesome. I like it.
Me too.
I'm all about it.
Me too, 100%. Anybody that ever says rock is dead, I'm like, well, I mean, are any single genres still alive? Is anything that's only one thing still alive? You know, like it feels like music is just kind of more open to where, hey, I'm a hip hop artist, but maybe I want to have some electric guitars in this.
Yeah.
Or I'm Halsey and I want to have Trent Reznor do my next record.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I think that's awesome. I think that's great because when you start like kind of crossing all those genres, you start coming up with new things. And that's the biggest problem is why is this style of music dead? And it's like people are like, well, there's nothing new. You know, the only good stuff came out years ago. And like every generation has their people that are like, no good music since my day.
No new pop punk, all good. It's no Blink 182. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it's like, okay, you're wrong, but that's okay. Like that's good. It's just new and it's different, and the fact that it's different makes it weird for some people that are kind of attached to a certain sound. But the fact that people are bringing in all those different aspects is creating new music,
right?
And that's how music thrives, and that's how everything has to change and adapt and grow and become something else. And so I think like it's just finding new life, and I think like true, like if you're talking about like hard rock or like straight punk rock and stuff like that. That all stuff to me should kind of be underground anyway. I always kind of like, are these bands supposed to be
sort of unsavory,
the top of the world bands, or should they be kind of like counterculture a little bit? Yeah, kind of. Shouldn't they be rubbing people the wrong way? Isn't that what rock is?
Yeah.
So, but I love the crossover.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I like everyone I've encountered has been very embracing of it and very excited about it. But I just know there's people out there who are just like very angry about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it's especially nowadays, everybody loves to be angry about things.
Yes. Literally everything.
Yeah. So with the social medias and the this and the that, it's just like, all right, cool. You be angry. You be angry about this. I'm just gonna enjoy that.
We did a really cool interview with a guy named Aldis, who is a professional wrestler, and he was talking about how there's this versus in culture where everybody has this idea of like whatever you like and it it means you're only allowed to like so many things, I guess. So if you like something, that means you have to hate something else because there must be balance in the universe. Like it's like this weird thing where he says, like, in his job, he's like, yeah, I'll go on Twitter and somebody decided that they have to be a huge jerk to me because they decided they like this other wrestler better than me, so that means they have to hate me. And he was like, sure, you guys can all like argue about who your favorite guy fighting in tights on TV is, but like, don't you have better things to do? Can't you just like things because you like them?
Right.
And I thought that was like a very like maybe a very poignant observation.
For sure.
Because it really does feel like that. Like, and I think that lends itself to exactly what you're talking about, where you've got the people that are like, oh, I don't like the way where it's going. And it's like, well, why? Because you don't get it. You know, like you don't understand it yet. Because I don't get it, and that makes me feel like I'm behind, which makes me feel old, and I don't want to feel old, so I'm going to fight against it. You know, or however it attacks somebody's self-esteem in their head, they have to fight against it because of whatever, you know, personal thing that they have, and people don't even realize that they're doing that. And it's just like,
right.
I hate it because it's new and I don't know new.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm I when I was younger, I listened to a lot of country music. That's what my parents a lot of times listened to prior to their like rock and roll versus Motown, because my parents were very similar in that way. And so once I kind of got out of that, I was like, you know, punk rock. And then when I went to college, it was more alt pop. And for some reason, I just picked the random hatred for Casey Musgraves. No reason. No reason. Every time somebody asks me about her, I'm like, I can't stand her. I think her music is trash for no reason. And I, in the last 2 years, have now fallen in love with this woman. And when I was in Nashville, she has an exhibit.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say.
And we my friend and I walked it for an hour, and it's not a big exhibit. Right. And we just were in awe, and it was just like, why did I spend 2-3 years of my life hating her? For no reason, when she has such good music.
You know why? So that you could have this experience now, and it meant so much more because you got to look at it and go, man, there was no reason for the hate.
Idiot.
Yeah, I mean, like the Casey Musgraves thing. You can't walk around drinking a gallon of Haterade from Casey Musgraves. In Nashville.
No,
that's not good. That's not good at all.
Right.
Yeah, she's very well respected in the songwriting community.
But it's just like why people hate Nickelback, and it's like why people hate Kid Rock, and it's like why people hate Poison.
It's not the only reason why people hate Kid Rock.
True, but
I think Nickelback's a different situation on that one.
I think so too. I don't particularly like Nickelback's music, but I can't tell you that there aren't some like. There's great musicians in Nickelback, and there's some well-written songs in Nickelback. I don't particularly like listening to their music. Why? I don't know. Maybe because in my brain it goes like, "This is douche rock," and I just do that. Like it gives me the Creed vibes, and like, but why do I hate Creed? I don't know. It just sounds douchey to me, so I hate it. But do I hate it?
The alarm goes off again.
but you can't say. Like, I can't say they're not talented. I can't say they're not good writers. I can't say that they're not a good band. I can't say they're not a tight band. You know, like, so where's all the hate coming from them? What is it? Like, it's just personal preference. And it's like personal preference just invalidates every argument anyway. Because it's like, you can't be right or wrong when it's an opinion. It's just,
right.
You know, so.
Absolutely. And you guys are the hosts of Bacon Is My Podcast. We discussed that a little bit. How did you guys get into it? How do you guys know each other? Are you brothers? How does this work? How do you guys know each other?
Well,
sisters from different misters.
Yeah.
So way back in one of my older bands, we used to play shows out and about, and
they used to make fun of my band.
One day, I saw this guy in his Skyliner
because my band wanted to be AFI, and we were all
in his Skyliner, and I was like, "Fuck is this guy?"
I saw this guy,
and then he started singing
in shorts on stage, and I was like, "What's with this guy?"
Yeah. exactly. But then no, we ended up, we played a lot together, and in separate bands for many years.
Yeah.
And then finally, a while back, we were like, you know what, like we hate our band, so let's start our own, and we started writing together, and then we kind of stopped because we went back to the normal, our bands were picking up, recording a new record, or playing a bunch of shows or whatever. Oh yeah, you got something.
Should I go get it now?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Get it now.
All right,
Yeah.
hold on 1 second.
Pause.
So yeah, we wrote what, like 15 songs.
Can I give the
we go.
romantic version?
No. And then
I'm going to give the romantic version.
okay,
We bonded over sarcasm. Two ships passing in the night. Our bands would play shows together, and we both liked each other's music. And then we discovered that both of us were okay with being messed with. And so we started messing with each other's bands, and we started a prank war. And this prank war really bonded us as well, because if you can take a prank well, then you're a cool person, right? Nobody gets like super mad or anything like that. So we had this prank war where like they saran wrapped my van, and they saran wrapped me to it.
it's available on YouTube as well.
It's available on YouTube. Yeah, it's good stuff. And then like where we rehearse, there's 2 doors to get in and out of the rooms, and we filled in between their doors with packing peanuts, and then we duct taped the doors shut so that they couldn't get out.
Yeah.
And they had to call the owner of the studio to let them out because they weren't sure how they were put in there. And then they got us with like ball pit balls in between our doors at like 3 a.m. on a Tuesday, when they knew we played like in New York City and we were going to be coming home super late. So we opened it and just balls went all over the studio. So lots of like that really kind of solidified like, hey, we're going to be friends. This is going to be all right. And then we discovered that like we both were into like watching wrestling, and we liked a lot of the same music, and we like drinking, and we think the same things are funny. We like Marvel and comic book movies and things like that. And so, he would go see Marvel movies and then come to my bar, and I would try and to make sure he didn't spoil things to me and stuff like that. So it was this, this wonderful growth of growing into this appreciation of what dicks we could be to each other. And then the other one would just always love it.
You knew like we were going to have to answer something like this. So I think you wrote that out somewhere. Didn't you?
I just did that now.
Oh, wow.
The 2 ships passing in the night was the best part.
I am so impressed right now.
You said romantic version, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. But I was like, oh, it's so romantic.
Right?
Isn't
it?
It truly was.
It truly is. It truly is. I was thinking of that when you were talking about it. I was like, oh man, he's skipping all the good stuff.
Yeah.
He's just skipping. He's flying right past the whole courtship.
Yeah, the courtship happened, and then we got together and we were writing songs, and then like we got back together to write songs, and then we were like, and then people were like, well, what do you do? And we were like, well, we bullshit for the first like 2 hours.
Yeah, we get together once a week and we bullshit and then try and write songs. And they were like, I wish we could watch that. And we were like, oh,
okay.
You want to try and do a podcast? And that's what
happened. And then
Mike texted me one day and said, hey, I got in touch with this person, and just for the hell of it, asked them if they wanted to be on the show, and they said yes. And we were like, oh, okay. I guess we got to figure out how to talk to. I guess we got to figure out how to talk to people.
Yeah, yeah. I just we had been doing it for a few weeks, and I was just like, I'll try and get some guests.
Yeah,
and we've had guests every week.
Yeah,
ever since.
Yeah, congratulations.
For almost a year.
It's been super cool. And we both really enjoy like talking to people that are passionate about what they do, and that are super dialed into like who they are and what they're doing and stuff, and then finding out about that. Mm-hmm. Like that's just always inspiring and interesting to both of us. So we kind of like honed right in on that. And it was
Hence,
like, oh, this is great.
this.
Hence why we're doing a crossover with you.
Yeah, you can check out their episode on their podcast, Bacon is My Podcast.
Yeah. That'll be out next week. Right? This is first and then us?
Well, yeah. So this is the lead-in episode.
Yes.
So what we need to do is we need to remember this. Everybody, we're here. We need to remember to say, hey, if you need to know what is happening,
right,
you need to go back.
Right.
Yeah.
To your feed, ipso facto.
Exactly.
That doesn't fit there.
Yeah. No.
You can make it
do here.
We're figuring it out. Do you guys have a favorite episode that you've recorded with a kind of person you've always wanted to be with, or just a really great, vibe? I hate using the word vibe, but cool energy all around.
Yeah. Ooh, you go first.
Well, the one I just brought up with Nick Aldis was one that really stood out to me, just because I don't know. It's like, and I'm sure you felt this too, like when you have an interview and you just kind of like connect with the person, and it's a really good story and they have a really good way of looking at things, and you leave the podcast and you're like, man, like I feel better and inspired than when I came into this. He's definitely one. We did one with a gentleman by the name of Mark Miro.
Yeah, another wrestler.
He was one of our first ones, and he's a former wrestler who is now he does
motivational talks and stuff like that in high schools,
and does
anti-bullying,
300 talks a year.
Yeah,
wow,
crazy schedule.
Yeah,
so those two stand out to me just for the really awesome, inspiring ones, but then also Josh from Silverstein was just super cool to talk to, because I love the band, and then getting to talk to him, and we started finding our footing as kind of interviewers, I guess. I think,
around there
on his show. It was kind of like that's where we started kind of.
Plus, he's Canadian and he's made of maple syrup.
Yeah, he's definitely.
He is the sweetest, the sweetest man ever.
Oh, and Patty Negri was awesome.
Patty Negri was great.
You know what? I can't answer that because
too many.
I'm gonna sit here thinking of more of all of them, because there's been something that I've taken away from each show that has made me more interested in the person that we spoke to and the topics that we talked about.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone into, like when you start working with publicists and stuff like that, and just trying to figure out who we're going to have on the show and stuff. And I like going into things with no expectations.
Mm-hmm.
So we just filmed an episode with AJ from Werewolves, and dude was super cool. We all hit it off.
That was a romance too. That was
literally the episode is this is what it sounds like when three guys fall in love.
Yeah.
Because
exactly what
that is literally what happened.
Exactly
because we were just like, oh my god, you love this too? Cool, me too. And he ran around with it, because I guess he was doing it on his phone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He ran around and went to all this horror memorabilia, and then this comic book memorabilia, and then he had this Every Time I Die stuff.
He's
and
showing us his house,
his whole house. Ran around his house going, "Oh, you guys will love this!"
Oh.
And so it was really cool. So that was really cool. The guys from Felicity, they ended up being one of my favorite.
Them too. They were awesome. They were super.
They're from Orlando, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I've been at a couple of shows that they've played at. They're great.
They're awesome.
They're so great.
Talk to them.
Super cool.
Talk to them when you get a chance. They're
Damien and Mike were awesome teachers, school teachers. Awesome.
Insane. Yeah.
And Kaylee.
Yeah.
From Rivals.
She
was a lot of fun.
Good job getting her name right.
Yeah. That was a running joke, because
3 times on the show you said Kylie.
Because I know somebody it's spelled.
It's hard.
Right. He knows
Wayman Woman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, I just live with it. cool, you pronounced my name. That's fine. But that ended up being like we had to cut that episode down.
Yeah,
like,
that ended up being like 3 hours.
I think it was 3
Oh
hours.
wow!
We like just talked and hung out and stuff, and we had to cut that down to an hour and a half.
And that's not even counting the ones we've had where we've had like our friends and bands come in and hang out too, which turn into like stupid nights of drinking that
never end.
We have to then edit down to like podcast form and be like, oh man, we have to cut out this entire story. That's awesome.
Like
yeah.
So and leading into this next question, I want to pose to you guys because I probably could answer this, but I'd probably bang my hands against the wall. If you could choose one dream guest and immediately book them, but it's the end of your show, who would it be?
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
wow.
I'm sorry.
That was a curveball at the end.
It has to end?
You have to just end it. Like, that's your... You end on the highest...
on us.
Way to, like, Infinity War this.
Yeah.
One snap, that's it.
Wow.
Jim, you go first.
All right, Tom Holland.
You know what I would do?
You said Infinity War, just Tom Holland.
Okay.
I didn't even catch that. Okay.
Tom Holland.
I love that man, yes.
And
then you just end this podcast, start a Marvel podcast.
Trent Reznor.
Ooh.
No. I think
Tom
personally, this is going to sound super sappy. I would finish it the same way we started it and just have the two of us.
Aww.
I want to be like, no, make a choice.
No.
Make a choice.
Yeah, you got to make a choice. That's a cop-out. It's a cop-out answer.
You suck.
Come on.
I mean, I said aw because it was nice, but it's totally a cop-out.
Mine would be Jack Antonoff, I think.
Oh,
he is my favorite producer. He has done so much stuff I adore. Cut me up my legs at that one. I couldn't go any higher than that.
Maybe CM Punk.
Oh,
that's a solid one.
That's a solid one too.
Yeah.
CM Punk.
So so since we both chose, that episode would be Tom Holland and CM Punk.
Yeah.
That'd be done.
I think the only way we could get CM Punk to come on
is if we had Tom Holland.
We had Tom Holland on.
He wrote Thor, so we could get Helmsworth. We could get Helmsworth on.
Yeah. Oh.
Segues into Marvel podcast. It'll work.
See, and then we just change formats.
Change formats. Then you get the loophole.
Exactly. I like it. I like the way you think.
Comic book loopholes are the best.
Well, so we did a box exchange.
Yes.
Bacon is my podcast sent me a box. I sent them a box of things to try. So I'm gonna have them open it up, and we're gonna talk about it. They're gonna try some things. So if you guys want to find,
so we have a. This is based off of a show we do on our Patreon. And we do a show on our Patreon called Tastin' Is My Podcast. And on that show, we have like just found weird things each of us at different times to bring in and be like, all right, let's just eat this and see what it is.
Usually it's like, hey, how can we torture ourselves this week?
Right. Or each other.
What kind of awful thing can I bring in that's going to make him feel shittier about himself? Right. And that's the romance
I don't know if we can
story.
curse on your podcast. I'm sorry if that's
no, go for it.
Okay. And that's the whole.
All right.
That's the whole romance thing that he brought up before. So I'm glad you brought that up.
So that's we do that show on our Patreon. There's a bunch of them up there. We've eaten everything from a 9 million Scoville gummy bear to crickets, to also we've gotten like snacks from Japan that we couldn't read anything, and so it was just like a random what's this gonna taste like? It's a gummy. I hope it's sweet because that's gonna be weird, stuff like that. So that's kind of where we kind of base this off of. So I am super excited to try everything that you sent us, which is super cool.
Very exciting.
So So should we try one at a time, or
Is that how did you guys want to do this? That as you started talking, I was like, did you just want to do this on yours? I wasn't sure.
No, not at all.
You know what we should do?
Okay.
What we need to do is we need to show them what we're going to try.
Yeah.
On our show.
Yeah.
So we'll open ours.
Okay.
You open yours.
Boom.
Then we go to the next one.
Okay.
All right.
We can do that.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So there we
Boom.
go.
I love that.
All right. So
in our box, we've got
Jelly
let me open
Belly.
yours.
Draft.
Oh well. Hold on a second because
Jelly
there's
Okay.
going to be a story along with
Yeah,
you.
there's
opening
gonna be a
ours.
story.
Okay. I'll wait. I'm so excited.
Draft beer jelly beans.
I'm cautiously optimistic about this.
Amazing.
Okay. We have Capital City Mambo sauce, which is a DC style wing sauce.
I've heard of Mambo sauce.
Yes.
It's sweet. It's hot.
I'm
Yes.
psyched.
I'm all about it.
I'm psyched. I've heard of
All about
Mambo
it.
sauce. But I've never tried it. That's awesome.
We have Red Hot, the crab chip.
Crab chip.
I've
Piece
had
de
crab chips
resistance.
before,
Oh.
but not red hot ones.
I've never had
Okay.
them, so I can't wait.
But I'm all about them, and if they got a little bit of
Little heat. I like the
heat,
heat.
I'm all about it.
This is the piece de la resistance. I agree. Although I have to say that this, I didn't know.
This,
I was like,
Okay.
what?
the
That
fact that
exists?
this exists is the greatest thing ever, ladies and
So
gentlemen.
for you audio listeners,
This is a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich Pringle.
right?
Okay. So I don't know if you guys have the same issue I do at Wendy's, but every time at Wendy's, I go, I'm going to get something different. I'm going to get a burger, or I'm
Right.
going to get this, and I'm going to get that. And I get up there and I go to order and I go, I'll have a number 6.
Spicy chicken sandwich.
So this,
Every time.
not only the fact that it's my favorite Wendy's thing, but it's also my favorite chip. It's not
Pringles.
because it's not a chip.
Right.
It's
a crisp.
It's a crisp.
Yes.
So yeah, I like that.
I'm super excited about that. too.
Excited. And then we got some
I'll say,
Fireball.
I'll say Wendy's won the chicken sandwich wars without even trying because nobody even caught them.
Right.
And then
We're gonna get White Girl Wasted.
and then we're gonna get
I'm
like
so sorry.
which is excellent.
I
Now,
felt
have
like
to
it was all
apologize.
very fitting.
I have to apologize because I did not send you any booze.
That's okay. That's really okay.
Ooh.
So now, before we get
Okay.
into you opening your box, I have to tell you that we just before you got on were laughing hysterically
I was crying.
because we opened this and I was like, oh my God, it's curated so nicely and everything like that. And I was thinking back to like, I did yours. Like, I don't ever go do things early in the morning. I'm like I bartend, I work evenings, I work nights. And like, I went to go get your stuff in the morning and I was like, I want to get her things that like, that she can't get anywhere but here. Right. So what I got you, and there were things that you can only get here. And then I was like, how am I going to wrap these things? And I was like, all right, well, I've got a Ziploc and I've got like some cellophane and then I've got bubble wrap and it's so like there's food items in there that are Ziplocked and then bubble wrapped. And I'm like, this is going to look like the creepiest thing when she opens it because there's no labels on anything. Because
Amazing.
it's like I bought like one of the things I got you once you open it, I'll show you because I have the other ones here for us.
I'm gonna start
because-
cutting the box.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead and
go
open
ahead.
it up. I just gave you the warning, so go ahead and open it up, and you can let everybody know how creepy everything looks.
So I want to make a note about the items in your box. So the Utz chips. I don't think you guys have Utz up there, if I'm not mistaken, right? They don't sell
we have
Utz in your
Utz.
area. Oh, you
We
do,
have
but
Utz.
not those ones.
By the way,
I've never seen these ones.
no, not that flavor. But Utz, they have the best pretzels.
Great pretzels.
Yes. Yes.
The dark, the extra dark
Yeah.
ones.
They're just. I'm the biggest fan of the barbecue ripple, not the regular barbecue, the ripple.
Okay,
Nice.
all right.
All right.
It's a game changer.
I like ripple for barbecue because it keeps more of the flavor on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's things happening.
All right. So
there's lots. Of
There's smells happening too.
There's lots of smells happening.
Okay, we have pickles, monster sauce. I love whatever dog is on this. First of all.
Okay, so that is a hot sauce made by a band out of Philadelphia called
Really?
Yeah,
People Food. Very, very cool people. They make that hot sauce, and that is why you got a delivery.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
I
the
did,
delivery
in
we sent
fact,
you,
get a delivery.
yes, that is for your
Those
hot sauce.
Are naked wings.
Those are naked
Amazing.
wings for you
So
to
you
try
can
the
put your hot sauce on.
How hot is it?
It's not.
It's
It's
not
not that
that
hot. It's an interesting flavor.
Yeah,
I'm a
That's
little
all.
bitch when it comes to heat. I'm not gonna lie.
it's
It's
honestly
not.
it's not. It's not like a when I said the gummy. Okay, so that. Which looks
The other
terrifying. I understand why it looks terrifying.
Okay.
Love this.
What you have in front of you is you have
Apple
cider donuts.
Oh, that's
From
what I was smelling.
From
So we
Stu
have-
Leonard's. Stu Leonard's is a it's like a family-owned grocery store, and it's only in like New York and New Jersey
and Connecticut.
and Connecticut.
Wow.
And they make fresh bagels, donuts, and everything every morning. So I went in the morning and I got you fresh, brand new apple cider donuts. And then you also have 2 bagels
Wow.
because they're New York bagels, and you have to have bagels. We gave you a rainbow bagel and a cheddar bagel.
These look fantastic.
They are
gonna-
fantastic.
Is this mold on it?
No.
No,
Okay.
that's food coloring.
Yeah.
No, there's like white speckles on it.
Nope. There always is. It's not
Okay.
mold.
Okay. I was like,
Nope.
did I leave it in the box too long?
No,
They were made Monday morning.
These are beautiful. It's so pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
my
gonna be
God.
delicious.
How do the influencers? I don't know.
Nice,
I
nice.
should have put a table in front of me. Ideally.
But so we were laughing because I was like, she's gonna open this and it's like unmarked, unlabeled food in Ziploc bags. Like how creepy.
From people she's met on a video call.
call once.
I'm getting murdered.
an
That's
hour.
what this is.
Exactly right. And I was like, this is hilarious. I was like, oh man. And then we were
Well-
like, she's not coming on. She's just not coming on.
I'm taking the bagels and I'm running.
She's out.
So if you were to have people on for your last show, who would it be?
Jack
Might be
Antonoff.
him. No, it might be him.
It might be because I sent you.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. It's this one. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna. This is it.
This is the end.
Right.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
Well, you'll get to see if she dies.
Yeah.
Right.
If I
Part 2.
yeah, go check out part 2. See if I die.
See if she died. That's the cliffhanger.
Will this bagel and hot sauce kill me? Stay tuned. Go
Stay
check out
tuned.
Bacon is My Podcast for the second part of this, where
we'll
I
see you
get
guys.
murdered.
Yeah, we'll see you guys on Monday.
Yeah.
You won't see me though.
This is what I was worried about, Jim.
Right. Ugh.
God damn it. Okay, so I like to play a game on my show called Quick Pick, where I make you quick pick songs. The first song that comes to your head when I give you a very specific scenario. So I make this game unfair. I already picked mine, but now you have to quick pick. So the first one, just the first song that comes to your head, you're teleported back to 1922, and you're able to play one song to spice it up, similar to like Back to the Future. What song are you playing?
Welcome to the jungle.
Ah, that's a good one.
Second Sucks by A Day to Remember.
Oh, that's also a good one.
Another good one.
Yeah.
I picked Levitating by Dua Lipa because I feel like the mentions of
Ooh.
space would really throw people off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
it's,
I like that.
it's very futuristic, but we're not in the future, so.
I feel like all the sounds that are happening with like all of like that kind of music would just
Yeah.
be like, oh, sorcery.
Yeah.
Be great.
Yeah, exactly.
I just imagine all the people in like Flapper. I think that's the right era. The Flapper is just like, oh, okay.
But I think they would still move to it.
Right.
Still move to, like our picks, they would be like scared.
Right.
They'd be like, put them on stakes or something.
Yeah, where's the crack in the ground where hell opened up?
Right.
Because this is awful.
All right, number 2, you are granted the power to play DJ at a very large sporting event, whatever that is for you. I would say kickoff for football, first pitch for baseball, whatever that looks like. What would the song be?
Ruby Soho.
Ooh, love it. I love it.
Digging it. Okay.
Courage by Alien Ant Farm.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Nice.
These are always so interesting to me because I do a lot of these multiple times, and I always make sure I pick a new one just so that I am keeping as quick as possible.
So you're having to come up with a bunch, yeah.
Yeah, and this is the first time I've done that, and now I'm like, oh, I could go different routes next time. But I really am digging the band Grayscale right now. They're newer in pop punk.
Oh, nice,
Yeah, their song Babylon. I just like imagine, come say it to my face, just screaming and just like, yeah, let's go. Football, right? I think that's how it works.
Yes. Yeah. I haven't played a whole lot of football, a little bit of street football, but yeah, say it to my face.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
So
Nice.
And my last one for you is you're on a cruise ship and you get swung into karaoke, only to realize it's senior karaoke. What song are you going to sing?
Smooth Criminal.
Yeah.
That was so quick.
Yeah. See, karaoke.
I don't know why, but that's what popped into my head. I was like, are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah.
In here now. You've been struck back.
And you just see Grandma tap at her toe.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's got a groove too, or the way you make me feel if I'm in the mic.
Oh, that's a great one.
There you go.
That's a good crowd
just because
pleaser.
of that. Just because that bass line at the beginning, that the way you're making me feel. Oh yeah. You knock me off of my feet. Oh yeah.
I like it.
All over that.
I like it. So my usual go-to is Wanted Dead or Alive, but I would take it back with Waterfalls by TLC. That's my other go-to.
Ooh.
Oh, can I change mine? No diggity.
No.
Those are a little racy for senior karaoke.
Yeah, hey man, I'm pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
Those are great.
You wait till the end. I'm gonna have every grandma and grandpa in that room going, hey hey hey
Na, na, na.
I love it.
Yeah.
I can't think
a
of
bunch of old people being like,
Play on, play on,
play on.
I can't hear that song without thinking of the movie Pitch Perfect, which is really unfortunate.
That is unfortunate. Well, kind of and kind of not. Yeah.
That's a good movie. I like it.
But I don't want to think
as
of that
they
when
came
I
out
hear
with
no
sequels.
diggity.
No.
Right.
I want to think
After the first one, you know.
I think of Lil Penny.
Oh, okay.
The little like puppet Penny Hardaway. Because that's always what.
What do you think of No Diggity?
Yeah, because he was in the video.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen the video.
Oh, you gotta watch it. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's good. It's a good time. It's a good time.
I picked "Build Me Up Buttercup" because you're playing to the crowd. They don't want a youngin in here showing them up.
Sweet Caroline.
You're a crowd pleaser. I am we've seen enough of this fella.
Let's get
That's my move.
Yeah,
that's my move.
I feel like this set the tone for us as people. It's like, well, if you could play something like you're out of your comfort zone, what are you going to play? And it's like immediately, it's like, what's going to scare the people there?
Yeah,
and that's what we do. That's
been every.
It's like people are like chaotic neutrals, like chaotic people, or just whatever those I want to just organizational skill. Oh my
just
goodness.
A dog chasing a car.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what I would do if I would catch one.
I'm just so neutral. I wouldn't want to piss somebody's grandma off on a cruise. She'd kill me on the cruise.
See, what about the grandmas that you piss off, which is going to be a lot of them? It's about the one that you see that loves it, because that's the grandma that you're drinking with the rest of the night that has the best stories.
Yes.
And that's how you weed out the weak. So you find the grandma in the room that's going to tell you the best stories.
Words to live by, truly.
Yeah. That's how you find the Betty White in the room.
There you go. There you go.
He's done this before, I think.
I can tell. So I like to ask all of my guests the same question, and it's a little different. So as podcast hosts, you guys have the ability to have a platform, larger, smaller, whatever that looks like. What mark do you want to make on the world with that?
The one thing I love about our whole premise is that idea of like, what's the thing in your life that to some people might be extra or on the side? What's your bacon? What's the thing that makes your life better, right? And if we can like entertain people and get people to kind of like think about that and appreciate some things, or find like a common ground with somebody that's on the show, that's the mark I would want to leave. Just be entertaining and get people to think more about like, hey, what are the things that I have in life that are pretty awesome? Because everybody's got it. So that's for me.
Yeah, I agree. Like the way we approach it and the what's your bacon aspect of it, it's really cool because we have wrestlers on, and we have like cosplayers on, and like people from a lot of walks of life, but everybody's people. Yeah. Everybody's just a person, and they have common ground with a lot of people. And if we're able to bring that out of a wrestler, so somebody who's never watched wrestling before, and here they are listening to an indie wrestler talk, and they're inspired by something they say, and they're like, oh, well, that's pretty cool that they're into this as well. Just entertaining people. It really showed me, especially being a musician, and I don't know if it's the same for you too, but being a musician in the pandemic era, this is my way of entertaining people and connecting with people, and it's been almost more gratifying than music at certain points. It's been a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, I feel the same thing. It's about that connection and finding that. And that's what we try to do all the time with music anyway. You know, both of us with our writing and with playing and with performing. And that's, you get the immediate one when you're in front of a crowd, but you're getting it one-on-one in an interview. And you know, I tend to think that thing that makes you go in a garage and make yourself a Captain America shield, or go in your basement and sew yourself a Supergirl outfit, is the same thing that makes you move from the UK to the United States because you want to be a professional wrestler and entertain people, which is the same thing that makes you pick up a guitar and get out in front of people, or start writing jokes to get out and make people laugh, or, you know, it's that same kind of passion. It's that same thing. And that's that same thing that makes you like, that is what you have with your friends when you go out for a night, you know, to a different extent. You have that same thing. It's that same passion for connection, and that same passion for doing something that you love to do, and something that you're passionate about. You know, it's connecting those dots for people, I think, is just awesome. Yep.
Heck yeah. Well, everyone go check out part 2 on Bacon Is My Podcast. If you guys want to plug anything before we end it over here.
Yeah, you can find it on Strangerhood TV. You can go to strangerhoodtv.com. It is the YouTube page. So like and subscribe when you're over there, and that's where you can see the visual part of this, which is going to be good because we're going to be eating things. For you ASMR people, we'll just eat really close to the mic. And for that, you can find us on Apple Music, Spotify, our Apple Podcast, Spotify, anywhere that you listen to podcasts and stuff. And if you're on there, please give us a 5-star review, because it just helps us get heard by more people. Same thing with Allie and artist Allie. You know, like it's that it helps all of us. So please do that. And if you migrated over here from Bacon Is My Podcast, please follow Allie and keep checking out her show. And thank you for migrating over here and following us. And if you are part of Allie's crew and you are following us over to check out the other part on our show, thank you guys so much for giving us your time. We appreciate it very much.
Heck yeah, Mike and Jimmy G, thank you. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
guys on the
Yeah.
other side.
All right, we're going to eat some stuff.
Yeah.